Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. Tonight, you're watching this live. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Karen Bukes, and I welcome you to the show. Tonight, we have a very informative show with two great guests. But first, let's say hello to our sponsors. First up is Cape Auto Body and Service in 2 locations. They were our first sponsor. Samoset Street and Sandwich Street, right here in Plymouth. Great service, great people. We love David and Kevin Gallerani. One Stop Painting with Jeff Cohen. Everybody knows Jeff Cohen. And from what I understand, he's going to have another Halloween benefit. That's coming up. He just posted it today on Facebook. Great painting, papering, gutter cleaning, deck staining, at its best. That's One Stop Painting. Brewster, PC Solutions with Wrestling Brewster. Computers and printers are his specialty. Wonderful guy, he knows what he's doing. And our newest sponsor, Quintal's Farmers Market. 1 Scooby Circle in Plymouth Industrial Park off Cherry Street. Great prices, fresh produce, and many other great foods. I have to slow down. I'm slipping on my words here, aren't I? I'm too much in a hurry. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday, and that's Quintal's Farmers Market, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday, indoors, in his warehouse, so rain or shine. We've been there, and it's delicious, delicious foods, and we have a gift certificate here. First caller, you'll get this gift certificate for Quintal's Farmers Market if you call in. Now, we love having our next guest on the show. They have a lot of important information for our community. Please welcome 2 people Ken and I respect very much. Plymouth Police Chief Mike Botieri and Captain of Operations John Rogers.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Did I say that slow enough? I don't know why I'm rushing here, because we have a full hour. I've been following what's been going on, even though, everything that's going on in our house, I still follow what's going on in town. And I watched you last night at the Selectmen's meeting talking about the civil service tests that the departments have to take you, and Ed Bradley got up and spoke in front of the Selectmen. Now, tell us some of the changes that you want in regards to taking that test.
Sure. What's happened with civil service, Karen, is over the years it's been underfunded, and it's just been, not efficient in any way. And I say that a little bit. I never would have thought we would be doing this. Myself, Captain Rogers, Chief Bradley, we're all, we all got our promotions through civil service. So we're a product of civil service. Although what's happened over the years is the process has just fallen apart and it just doesn't work. And I can give you some examples of that. Yeah. I want to make sure people realize that what's happened is the fire chief and I, when we believe our job, part of our job would be to bring to the town manager and the selectmen some type of issue that we have within the department that could be a concern. And this is one of them, because we're unable to fill serious promotional positions. And because of the system and the process, it's difficult. So we brought that forward, and the result is they're looking to take the police chief, fire chief, and the command level deputy chiefs and captains from the police department out of civil service. What that means is that you'll need to come up with a very fair and efficient and effective system that works. And I want to make sure people realize this has no reflection on the quality of the officers we have.
Right.
The experience, we have experienced and capable officers. I'm totally confident that would be very competitive, and I'll be supporting to get into these positions. This isn't about going outside of the community. This isn't about thinking that we don't have quality people. Just the opposite. I can tell you that. I've said it many times. I support the officers. They do a great job, and we have some really highly qualified people that could step in when the command staff does retire, and that will happen. So anyway, civil service itself over the years, they no longer really do anything for a local department. 80% of the departments chiefs in the Commonwealth do not use civil service. It's about 18%, 19%. 65 communities out of 351 still have a civil service process for their command level in their chief position. So it's a very small number of communities. Civil service, because of that, they are only mandating so many communities. They have experienced layoffs and cutbacks and those type of things. So the way it works now is the only thing they do is they send out the cards for the initial appointment of a patrol officer. They do that. The rest of the process, they mandate you as to what you need to do, but they don't assist you through it. They don't collect the paperwork. Matter of fact, I mentioned at the Selectmen's meeting and at the FinCom tonight that if I had a deadline, I would have to request an extension from myself and then grant myself that extension.
And grant yourself the extension.
Exactly. And you'd have to have that paperwork should there be a question down the road to show that you did that. So it's just so dysfunctional, it doesn't work. It's all about the process. This isn't really a command position that we were talking about, but when you look at civil service, we were looking to put on a promotional exam for lieutenant in 2011. And to make a long story short, we continued to put that application in, but you need 4 people to apply for the exam for them to have it or they cancel it. So it took us 4 years to actually have an exam. In 2015, we finally gave an exam.
My goodness. So you had to have 4 people for that position before you could submit the application.
Well, you apply, and then the candidates that are qualified would be the next lowest rank that has at least 4 people.
Okay.
If 4 people don't sign up, then you have to wait a year, and the next year it opens to the next lowest rank.
Okay.
And we did that, and even when it was open to patrolmen, people weren't interested. And people don't sign up for different reasons. Some people don't want to fail. Some people don't want to. They're happy where they're at. But in civil service, years ago, not too many years ago, we were experiencing an 80% failure rate on the exam. So does someone want to, study for several months, take classes for several $100s, if not a couple thousand, pay for the exam at $250, and then buy books, spend all that money, and only 20% people pass. So it's a very dysfunctional program.
It sounds to me that it's the test itself is prohibitive, or it's skewed in such a way. I mean, you have very talented people within the department.
Absolutely.
Very intelligent people. They study for this test. They take the test, and there is an 80% fail rate. What is it based on?
Well, it's based on several books that they choose, and they have someone they hire to do that. But the chiefs, mass chiefs, and the Mass Fire Chiefs Associations have constantly worked with them in order to try to change it and make it more appropriate questions to policies, procedures within your department. We also do an assessment in combination with that, and for captains and chiefs, we actually do a soul assessment. So there are other processes, but no matter which one you choose, you have to have 4 sign up, and if you don't, you can't give the exam.
And so it could take 2 to 3 years to fill a position.
Sure. I mean, actually, we gave an exam last October, and we're filling our position so much that we've exhausted the list, pretty much close to exhausted the list. There's only one person left that will be on the list. So if we don't give another exam this October, which we've posted for, and we're not confident we're going to get enough people, but if we didn't give the exam this October, what does that mean? That means that we'd have to wait till October 2017 to give the exam. We wouldn't get the scores until January 2018. The assessment wouldn't happen until March or April. We wouldn't actually have a list till June of 2018. So if we do not give an exam in October for lieutenant, let's say, we would not have an actual list until June of 2018. So it's a very cumbersome process.
Now, why would anybody not be for this proposal?
Well, I think that the original reason civil service came in to play many, many years ago was because of cronyism and nepotism, and and people doing favors for each other. So we do not support that, obviously, and the town manager would come up with a very fair system, and I think she'll be inclusive and let people be involved in what that system looks like. So it's fair, effective, and efficient. However, it's not something that takes you years to get done and to prepare for. So.
Right, and it would be negotiated fairly among the union and who?
Yeah, I mean, the positions that we're looking to take out in this article that the town manager put forward are the non-union positions of the command level, so we're not represented by a union. To go to the next step, if we were going to take out the superior officers, have a union and patrolmen. To do that, I'm sure that the town manager would speak with them and negotiate with them a fair process. This has been done in 80% of the communities throughout the Commonwealth, so it's not like we have to recreate anything. I'm sure we can get our hands on some very, very fair processes, and I've seen them. And they mirror a lot of the civil service. A lot of what civil service says is good. It's just dysfunctional. It doesn't work.
Yes, if it expedites you getting the needed officers that you so desperately need within the department, I don't see a problem. And if it's negotiated fairly, the rules and safety for the men, that they they can put in things to make.
Sure, I'm sure they'll be involved in it.
Yeah. So, so the selectman and town manager are receptive to this idea?
Yeah, the town manager's office brought this forward in order to make the process more efficient. Selectmen supported it last night, and actually the Finance Committee supported it tonight unanimously.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I just left there, and the Fire Chief Bradley was presenting his at the same time.
So it was unanimous on the Finance Committee?
It was.
Oh.
It was.
That's interesting. So this is Article 11 coming up at the next town meeting?
It is. Article 11. Article 12 is the Fire Department.
The Fire Department. Service. So Ed had to get up too, huh?
Yeah, I felt he could do it without me, so.
Oh, he's good. Now, tell us about what is the Smart 911 program that's been initiated within the department?
Smart 911 is a program where you can create a profile online at no cost to you at all. And what will happen is that profile will present itself if you should call 911. Now, you can do that from any phone, a landline phone, a cell phone. What information do you want public safety, EMS, fire department to know? What do you want us to know if we're responding to your house? A phenomenal program. We're encouraging people to go on. It's basically just www.smart911.com. And you just fill in the blanks and fill in what you want. The information is confidential. It's only going to come up on the dispatcher screen when you call 911, and after the call is over, it disappears. It's not kept in it for any reason. For instance, what do you want to know? Do you want the EMS to know that you have a child in the house that has an EpiPen if he's stung by a bee and it's in the top drawer in the kitchen? What do you want us to know? What do you want police to know? What do you want fire to know? Are there any animals in the house? Do you have an in-law apartment in the house, so we know when we get there how many people live in the house? So the fire department would know.
I love this.
Oh, yeah,
how long has this been?
Well, this has been around a little while. We just began, and we just got it put in probably about 3 or 4 months ago. So we're starting to publicize it now, and we're promoting it. It's a phenomenal program. You control it completely as to what you want us to know. But, you know, it could be something as simple as someone in the house has Alzheimer's. You could attach a photo. If your child has special needs and walks away a lot, on the way there, we'll know what we're looking for.
And if a parent has Alzheimer's, and
absolutely,
and that's very useful.
Yeah, where do they commonly go? Do they walk to a different area? So on our way, we can look, and we think that in a lot of ways that could save lives. Information to the police and EMS and all public safety is power to us. Right. The more we know, the more efficient we can respond, the safer we can respond, and I think the more effective we can be.
Right. Well, I've always believed police forces are our friends, and I wouldn't have a problem doing that.
Great. Yeah, we encourage people to use that system. We'd
right.
love to see that.
So what does this explain your new outreach drop-in centers now?
Well, I'll mention the outreach a little, and then I'll have Captain Rogers talk about the drop-in center expansion of it. The outreach program we've been doing for 9 to 10 months, very successful, and it basically means the next day, within 12 or 24 hours, with a stakeholder or a counselor, we come to you if you overdose in our community. We've expanded it to 4 communities now, and we're going to be adding 4 or 5 communities in the near future as a best practice for the county. Right now, if you overdose in Plymouth, Carver, Middleborough, or Duxbury, you will have a follow-up the next day. Phenomenal support with BID, Gosnold, Clean Slate, Bay State, High Point, and they all work together to collaborate to do this.
Give those towns again.
Well, the agencies that we use in the collaboration we have a member in agreement with is Gosnold, High Point, Beth Israel Deaconess, Clean Slate, Bay State
Bay State Community
Bay
Health,
State Community Health,
South Bay Mental Health.
and South Bay Mental Health. So they work with us on this, and now we've extended to a drop-in center, and Captain Rogers can talk a little bit about what we've done so far and what our plans are.
Great.
Well, what we started, and this was, we began our first one last Wednesday night, it was on the 24th, was the drop-in center. We're kind of mirroring a program that's done by EB Hope. It was created up in East Bridgewater with Chief Scott Allen. And basically, it works on the same premise. We go beyond with the overdose follow-ups, but what we've done is we've partnered with New Testament Church with Pastor Paul Jaley, and then also we're going to begin with New Hope Chapel with Pastor Neil Eaton. And what we did at all these agencies that the chief mentioned, as far as service agencies and other support agencies like Learn to Cope, BAMSI, Brewster Ambulance, who's been key in this as well. What we do is we set up tables with counselors, clinicians, and anyone else that can be helpful in these particular situations. We'll be opening up. We're going to do our next drop-in center will be Tuesday night, September 6th. It'll be at New Hope Chapel from 5 p.m. to 9. And then basically we encourage people that have addiction problems, most predominantly opioid problems, to come in, talk to people, get assistance. Family members that either have loved ones or they suspect loved ones may have these problems, they can come in, they can get guidance on services available not only for their loved ones but services for them, because with every individual that has an addiction problem, there's a family that's suffering as well, as far as what to do out of concerns and things like that. And I believe the last time we talked about some incidents where we know of some parents that we've spoken to in the past that that have children or even adult children that have this problem, and they live in their home. They set their alarms to wake them up every hour just to go in and check on this person.
Oh.
And these are issues that we're seeing and hearing about every day. On our first night, we didn't know what kind of response we were going to get the first night. We did get in the papers. We did a reverse 911 call. We put posters up all over town. And, on your first night, we really couldn't be certain, but we had an overwhelming response.
Really?
We had people coming from as far away as Middleborough and beyond that. And on that particular night, we got 2 people that went from there to a treatment center. We have other people that are going to be able to follow up with people to, on other, whether it be an outpatient program or they're going to be on a list to get an inpatient program. But it's been pretty successful,
So
and the support we've been getting on this is overwhelming. I mean, it didn't take a lot of prodding with either Paul Jaley or Neil Eaton to really address the problem, and they welcomed us in with open arms.
That's wonderful.
And there's, like I said, and it's a great place to do it because there's a little bit of a spiritual issue behind this as well for some people. They feel some kind of religion or faith is helpful in fighting some of these addiction problems. So it's a good place to do it. So like I said, our plan is to do it 2 weeks a month, alternating weeks from the EB Hope drop-in nights. That way that it'll be at least one night a week every week of the month in Plymouth County. Someone will have somewhere to go if they have a problem. And so we're hoping to continue this. Again, we'll be doing it September 6th at the New Hope Chapel from 5 to 9. And then the next one will be Wednesday, September 21st at the New Testament Church down on the southern end of Long Pond Road.
Will you do another robocall?
We will, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll probably reach out to PAC TV to see about getting it on the community calendar as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the atmosphere we're looking for, and we did reach that from the first one. Is it's comfortable. We serve a meal. There'll be food there for people. People can come in just to get information. We're all volunteers. We're not there as the captain or the chief. We're there as volunteers.
Yeah.
Volunteer with your first name on a tag. We encourage people to come and work with us. We had, I think, close to 30 people that first night for different reasons. Grandparents, some grandparents came in and said, "Look, my grandson's having a problem, but he thinks he can fix it himself. What can we do?" And we'll direct them to that resource. Phenomenal amount of resources and tables set up. There was a group there that actually did a Narcan class for 8 or 10 people and provided them Narcan. So we're looking forward to continuing that and looking for some volunteers to help us with it as well.
That's wonderful. I'm impressed. You should be a model for other towns. Perhaps they can do this, I can see you expanding upon this in other towns doing it. Could you send me via email the information on the next couple of meetings?
We'll be putting out a press release either later tomorrow or Friday, if
send
not
it
the
to you
beginning of the week,
directly.
and we'll send it to
Yes,
you.
and when we
You can
do
mention
another
it.
program, it will be mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could get that
Well,
to
we
me.
appreciate that.
That's wonderful. You really are. You have a wonderful department. I can't say it enough. You're all your staff, the officers. You just don't, go and sit in your cars and go from one problem to the next. You help. You're in the community.
We've seen that culture change over the years, and the interesting piece would be that, we never thought we would be administering any medication like Narcan.
Oh,
Never.
yeah.
No policeman thought that.
No.
But we're lucky enough that we have so many new positions. We have 33 new officers within the last 3 years. Now, what that means is those officers, they're getting Narcan training in the academy. So a
Yeah.
third of our department already knows that's part of the job, whereas the older guys think, But the philosophy's changed. We need to be part of the solution and we want to be part of the treatment, part of the rehabilitation,
And part
not
of
just
the
in and out.
community.
So we really take it seriously, and the guys embrace it. Guys and gals, our officers, the men and women in our the Plymouth Police Department, they embrace this. They really do. I couldn't be prouder of them, and that doesn't just happen overnight. It's more of a cultural change. So.
Well, I see, as from being a kid and watching how the culture has changed, not that I thought it was bad to begin with. I mean, never had interaction except good things. But I understand what you're saying, and it's very badly needed.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry to say it, but it is. And you recognize it. It's wonderful. Now, this really intrigued me. Shop with a cop with the school resource officer. What is that?
Well, I'll give you a little bit, and I'll have John talk a little bit more about it. The Shops with a Cop is a program that we've seen out there that some other communities have done. I know down in Yarmouth and that area they have done it before. And we tried to put it together kind of last minute, to be honest with you, and we want to I think next year we'll probably be a little bit better at it, but we did phenomenal this year. And so what we've done in the last week or so is the school resource officers, the 4 of them, Paul Carraher is the school resource officer at PCIS. He kind of took the lead as the senior school resource officer.
Okay.
And we reached out to all of the different schools and tried to, where the 4 school resource officers are, and spoke with the administration because they know the families in need. And there are a lot of families that we realize and we know that have a hard time with getting their kid to school with backpacks and supplies and clothes.
It's hard.
It's hard. And I remember back in all of our childhoods, that was exciting to get new clothes to go to school. So we identified 12 students, 3 at each of the schools, with the assistance of each of the principals and the staff. And what we're doing tomorrow is they're going to be at the police station around 11:30, and we're going to have lunch with them. So we're going to eat lunch with them. And then we have backpacks that were provided by Walmart, and the backpacks are already filled with pens and pencils and notebooks and pads and that stuff. So they're all going to get that. Eastern Bank has made a donation to help us give bags with different things in it. Let's see, other places like Dick's Sporting Goods has given us $50 gift cards for each one of them. We're going to take them shopping there, and then we're going to be spending $100 with them at Old Navy.
Oh,
So we're going to take our
great
cruises
store.
with the officers.
Yeah.
The captain and I will probably go for a while after we eat lunch. We're going to go up there with that, and we're going to hit those stores and actually shop with the kids. So the other benefit is, spending some time with a police officer too, and just being able to kind of forge that
Absolutely.
relationship with the community, the public, the students, their families. Some of the families were just, really just overwhelmed when we called. And,
I'm sure.
the school resource officer doing that. So they're going to get at least a couple $100 worth of stuff, clothes, and they're going to get to do it with us. We're going to shop with them, and we're going to try to do this every year.
What a wonderful program.
Yeah, and Captain Rogers has made a lot of the phone calls and put it together within a week. So between him and the school resource officers, and was there anything I missed on that, John?
No, you got it all.
Okay.
Now,
It's hard to stop me when I get on a roll.
I know.
I don't know when to stop, but
No,
I'm going to
that's
throw you
fine.
something. Another one, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm fine.
No, he's
I
fine.
know. I'm sorry.
Walmart was very receptive. You know, they usually are. They really do step up. Depends who goes to them, but they do step up.
Well, Officer Carraher, I'll tell you, he's our longest standing SRO that we've had, and he's at Plymouth Community Intermediate School with Brian Palladino, who's the principal. And you know, I think we wonder, you know, we're trying to get Paul to take exams and things like that, but I think Brian Palladino was kind of holding him back. I think Brian wants to keep him
there.
Brian and Paul have developed a great working relationship, which has been beneficial to us in more ways than we can imagine.
That's wonderful.
Paul, if you know, if we need to do something, Paul's been always on the forefront of getting things done. He every year except last year, he does a student police academy mid-year, where he does things with kids. He does a program with kids after school. They stay after school, and he sets up programs with, you know, our patrol officers, our specialty units, state police air wing, sheriff's department, things like that, where, you know, the kids stay after school in their own time, and they learn a lot about the police department. They interact with us, and then at the end of that program, that's usually about a 12-week program. It's a couple days a week. And at the end of that, we have a graduation ceremony, and, you know, they get a certificate and things like that.
Well, so, it grows a good community, John, and especially in this day and age. And you know, I'll come right out with it. I'm not a fan of the groups that are out there that trash police. You're going about it the right way. You're the respect shown. We come from a good community anyway, and you know, basically we are a very good community family, and growing good kids, and you're showing them, you're putting a human face and on the department, and this will only help.
Well, I mean, one of the things that has worked for us in at least the 8 years as we've been together as command staff, and Mike's been really pushing this right along, is that relationships. You know, relationships have been key for us, and it's not just, you know, not just within the department, but, you know, with the town agencies. I think you can go to a lot of communities where your interagency cooperation, it just isn't there. I mean, and I think we're very fortunate in the fact that, you know, we have great relationships with all the town agencies, the department heads, things like that. Not to mention whether it be Beth Israel Hospital, the school department, Quincy College, Entergy, the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department. I mean, it's a seamless relationship everywhere we go. And
we meet with many of them monthly on different tactics and different things they want to know and different questions they have. And the captain's completely right. I mean, we believe in today's world with the issues that police have had, and let's be fair, the police have done some things that cannot be defendable, and we get that, but it's a small percentage. It's a small percentage, and you can't just paint a wide brush like that.
No.
But we know that we will measure our success in relationships. That's really where it's going to lie. So if something happens, people have to have trust, and we have to have a legitimate police department, and we want people to know who we are and what we're about, and have some faith that we'll do the right thing.
Absolutely, and knowing you, as I have over these many years, watching you when you were a captain, you come from that. You reached out then. This is how you grow your house. This is who you are. You're the father of that house, and everybody in it reflects. You would be the first person to come down on any one of your officers if they ever did anything wrong. You would be beside yourself. And you're right. It is a matter of trust, and you have earned it.
Oh, we appreciate that.
And John has earned it. And we're very lucky to have you, which leads me into this, excuse me. There's a citizen's petition coming before town meeting, and it's to change the bylaw on noise downtown.
Right.
I'm all for this. I understand, you know, I'm a great business proponent and all of that, but some of the establishments have windows that open, and it's dueling bands at different times.
Right.
And from what I understand, this petition has to address the bylaw. They're coming to town meeting to get permission to do that, and What do you think? I think it's a long time coming, but what do you think?
Well, I think that you have to draw a balance between, as you mentioned, businessmen who have a right to do business, and we want that to flourish, as well as residents that are in that area. And I think that that's what's happening. There's been a little bit of conflict there. I think you mentioned earlier, sometimes there's dueling bands. You have these open air windows, and then you have amplified music. So when you put those two together, it could be an issue. Now what happens is there are a few of them in a small area there, and at a certain time it might get to be too loud. I will say that the management in those establishments are receptive. They're receptive to talk to us. I've talked to them all, and they've talked to the captain, and we've had complaints, and we've tried to deal with it. But it's basically the entertainment license allows it.
Yeah.
So you have basically two people saying, I have a right to have peace at a certain time of night, and the other one says, I have a right to run a business. So I think that it's going to be an interesting bylaw. I think there'll be some serious discussion on it. We'll present, impartially, the facts of what we've dealt with and what we've seen down in the downtown area, but we'll be part of making that discussion happen. But I think it's that balance that we talk about. You have to draw between right to do business and right for someone to have a certain peace at a certain time of night. So I think it'll be interesting.
It'll
to see
work
where
out,
it goes.
and it's been a long time coming, and the discussion has to happen.
Sure.
And I believe, I really don't know for sure, but Tom Bruce is bringing this forward, and that's the Neighborhood Watch downtown, which is a very viable, very involved neighborhood watch. I was involved in it when Rick Cohn had it.
I miss Rick Cohn.
I know, and I mean, he loved this town.
Yep.
So I know that they will create, along with your help and the town, a good bylaw that will make everyone happy.
And we still go, I don't think we've missed any of the meetings down the downtown neighborhood watch groups. That we
Where is it now?
They do it on North Street.
Performing Arts Center.
At the Performing Arts Center.
Nice.
So when they meet, we're always
What
there.
night? You don't know?
They're sporadic. They don't have a set night per month. They'll meet 2 or 3 times during the season, and it could be any night, but they'll give us a notice, and they make sure we can attend. So
yeah, it's a very active group.
it is.
And it should be. There's a lot going on down this weekend. God bless you.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
Waterfront Festival.
Now, there was an incident at Morton Park which actually shocked me. It was shocking.
Right.
And there was a fellow that came to the aid. Could you speak to that?
Sure. An employee for the town, I think everyone has seen this, got involved in a situation where they committed an horrific crime. During that crime, another town employee, the town employee was Robin Ireland, and Robin happened to be in the area jogging when he heard the woman screaming, and he made a decision to intervene. And as a police department, we typically ask people not to do that.
Sure.
And I said that when we did recognize Robin at a selectmen's meeting, and it was warranted. He was there with his family, his boys, and his wife. And he's a great guy. He made that decision to intervene, and we believe it saved the woman's life. And we don't say that lightly. There was a serious assault going on at the time. He intervened. He was able to distract, if you will, the perpetrator for a long enough time to make sure that the woman was in a safe area where someone else helped her. And then he did a phenomenal job, and we recognized him. And I don't think that he's done being recognized throughout the Commonwealth, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's
because what he did was a wonderful thing. And,
because his life was threatened.
Absolutely, no. He stepped up, and he was threatened by the subject. With a weapon in his hand, and he stood there and he stood his ground to a point, and his goal was simply to make sure that the woman didn't get assaulted anymore and get her into a safe area, and he did that.
Him.
Yeah, he did that.
Now, is that other employee in a facility now?
Well, I'm not sure at this point, but there was they went off for treatment to be evaluated, but they were charged with some serious crimes.
Right, he should be in a mental facility. But thank God for that fellow Robin. What was his last name again?
Robin Ireland.
Ireland.
Yep.
That was Providence that he was there.
It was. It was.
You know, God love him, and the woman too. Now, Sheriff, you have an agreement with Sheriff Joe McDonald.
Yeah, Sheriff McDonald has what he calls a safe keep program. He's had it for years. And he runs that throughout the county, the Plymouth County Chiefs. I'm actually the president of the Plymouth County Chiefs right now. So Joe comes to every one of those meetings monthly, first Wednesday of every month. We meet and he presents a report from the Sheriff's Department. He's always presented to that group and offered to Plymouth County the Safe Keep program, where he will watch your prisoners for you. You know, we're lucky enough that we have a big enough town and a big enough community and a police station where we can house our own people, but he will house them for us over the weekend. The greatest liability a police department has is a prisoner, because you've taken someone's custody away. If you think about it, that's the one most important, most liable thing we do, is take custody of a person and take their freedom away.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that they're taken care of and that they're safe and they get their medication, and there are a lot of concerns, a lot of issues with that. Joe has always stepped up as a sheriff and done that.
Always.
And he does it in all the communities. He'll take that person for you and then bring them to court the next day.
So that's wonderful. You know, Joe's like that.
Great guy, does a great job.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal sheriff.
He's up for re-election, and I hope you vote for him. He's always been there for Plymouth.
He has.
You know.
He has.
Nice guy, and that's a great program. What is the status on the opioid situation?
You want to take that, John, and I can do the numbers, or do you have the numbers?
No,
You're better than that. You're better with the numbers.
Well, I'll give you the numbers, and then John
Okay.
can talk a little more about the program.
All right.
So if we go back to 2014, we've talked about this. This is when we noticed
Yeah.
this. The fire chief and I, you know, he noticed it first. We started talking about creating the street crimes, but the numbers have been, they're still a little alarming. Back in 2014, we started tracking this. And we, as a police department, responded to 120 overdoses that year, and we had 15 deaths, okay, of the 120. So that was concerning to us. It's a high number.
Yeah.
In January of 2015, we started carrying Narcan as a police department.
Yes.
Fire department already had. So we don't know how many lives we saved by using it, but
lot.
we used it probably 90 to 100 times that year. And you hear the calls, and it just goes
Breaks
right up
your
your
heart,
spine. I
yeah.
mean, I heard one the other day, and it's like you know you got to get there, and you can hear it in the officers' voices.
Yeah.
They know it's an emergency, and it's not like they're going on an emergency call for a crime
Domestic,
being
yeah.
occurring, but it's just they're just as harried and just as
Because if they
wanna
don't get there,
it's saving a life.
Yeah, it's saving a
and they
life.
do a great job. So we don't know how many we saved, but we know in 2015 we experienced 202 overdoses and we had 23 deaths. Now this year we've experienced 156 overdoses so far, so we're still heading towards that number. We've had 11 deaths. Now, one of our concerns is that the wintertime usually brings with it an alarming number of overdoses.
Is it in the winter?
Yeah, it seems like that in the winter, and we've had December itself has been a really concerning month to us. I think if we go back every
'cause they
3
get
years,
depressed.
yeah, there's depression for holiday seasons, and we've seen 5 or 6 deaths in those months sometimes in some of the years. So we're prepared for that. We have a much better system in place that we can follow up with. So it's a concern. We think we're doing a lot. The town should be applauded for approaching it this way,
Yeah.
with full support of the town manager, the selectmen,
Yeah.
town meeting. The town has been phenomenal about that. We feel like we have a good grasp on it. We're trying to put together what we call best practices throughout the county. And the sheriff, as well as the DA, has a task force. I represent law enforcement on the task force. And we're bringing these, and we have a meeting next week, we're bringing these best practices to that table so we can expand them throughout the county. So we have a lot of good things happening at the same time that we have this opiate issue.
Drugs coming in from other towns?
Yeah, we should also mention when we talk about the program for the addicts and the overdoses, we have a no tolerance policy for dealing any of these drugs in our community, and we have a specific narcotics department division.
Good.
We have an officer on the drug task force, work with the DEA, and we do several search warrants. And like I say, we don't take any. We prosecute to the end of the.
And you work with the court.
We have a very good relationship with the court systems. They're at the table as well.
Yeah.
The drug court is there.
Yeah.
Phenomenal program. So.
It's a problem, and it's not only here, it's everywhere. But I know you're right on it. I know you are.
Appreciate
that. I read that, I read about it, I hear about it. You're always on it, and it's very difficult. Now, do we have a shortage of police officers? If so, how many?
Well, our goal, and through the statistics and surveys and analysis that we've done 2 or 3 different ways, we think we should be in that area. We believe we need to police a community with the challenges Plymouth has, somewhere around 128 to 130 officers. We currently stand at 119, which is phenomenal. We've gotten 19 new officers in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Town's been very supportive. We're going to continue to try to get towards that number. The problem is, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
So right now, we're looking at 18 open positions we have through attrition and the new openings, because you also have people retiring and then people injured. So we have we just transferred 2 officers from the MBTA. They are actively working already.
Oh, good.
So they came down, they live in the area. We have 5 officers graduating on September 23rd from the Plymouth Police Academy, so they'll be on the road. We had 5 officers start the Randolph Academy on August 1st, so they'll be out somewhere at the end of the year, maybe February. And then we are securing 5 more positions for the October 31st Plymouth Police Academy. So we have a lot of moving parts. So by next summer, we will have all these people up and running, and we should be in a good position. We should, next summer, have the highest staffing of officers we've ever had in the history of the department.
Well, I hope so, because Plymouth is a big town, and it's very dangerous out there, which leads me to, do you believe, because I believe it, that we need a satellite station in the southern sector?
Well, we've talked about that, and when I mentioned the challenges, one of the major challenges Plymouth has is the size, 103, some say 101 square miles. So that challenge with that is that we need to, our primary duty is to respond to a 911 call in a reasonable fashion.
Yeah.
A reasonable fashion
And
to
you
us
do.
is 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And we averaged 2 minutes and 51 seconds in 2015. And our goal is when people need us, we need to be there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
As that challenge, what was the original question, Karen?
Oh my goodness.
We need a satellite station.
Satellite
yeah.
station. I'm sorry, you lost me. You lost me on that. Okay. So yes, it would be nice to have one. We've looked into
Thank
it
you,
a few
John.
times.
Yes.
That's what I'm here for, Karen.
When what was the Hollywood studio?
Plymouth Rock Studios.
Plymouth Rock Studios.
Yeah.
We were planning on doing one with them. They were giving us a location. Pine Hills had offered us space years ago. It never really worked
And
out.
there was something on Rocky Hill Road, a piece of land, but that
Yeah, there were a few
fell
different
through.
opportunities.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be good. I mean, we feel like we're able to handle what we're doing with the one department, but I think it is warranted just by the size of the community. And then those challenges are vast. I mean, there are not a lot of communities that have, and we still do now, a nuclear plant, at least for the time being, and we'll need to protect that well past its closing. So you have a nuclear plant, you have a major tourist location, you have an airport, you have 2 high schools, you have a courthouse, you have a major hospital, so you have all of these different challenges, 36 miles of shorefront, you have a prison.
Yeah.
So all those things bring with it a lot of different challenges, and then add the size of the community. So.
Yeah, I know, it's enormous. How do the officers patrol and maintain for safety natural resources? I mean, some of these parks are huge.
Yeah, the areas are vast. I mean, we have specific sectors we assign officers to, and then we have overlap officers that overlap those areas in different times. So it is difficult, absolutely.
It is difficult. So 133 officers are needed.
We're looking for right around 130, 128 is the number that I've been using for the last couple of years. That is our goal.
Yeah.
So if that's really where we want to be, we're at 119. So we've made some excellent strides, and I can't say enough about the support of the community, the town manager, the selectmen, right through all the way from the finance committee to the town meeting personnel.
Well,
yourself.
and I know Ed's not sitting here, but I'll just say it. I know the fire department needs a new station in North Plymouth.
Right.
And God bless the guy that comes out and backs into that station.
That's right.
I mean, he doesn't even have an inch on both sides.
In North Plymouth?
In North Plymouth.
Yeah, it has to be replaced.
And the phone operator's sitting right there by the fire. I mean, there's no room.
Yeah, it's an old building.
You know, and then the sewer pipe happened, and these things get put on hold. It's such a predicament, you know.
Sure.
It's upsetting, but What are some of the challenges coming up for the department? John mentioned one earlier.
Well, one of the things you're seeing that is coming out nationwide because of the issues that you're seeing with the people, the community, or the people losing trust in the police department is the need or the people wanting police officers to carry body cameras. It's it's something that's out there. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. In Massachusetts, the way the laws are very unique in the way of the different things and information gathering and sharing of information and things like that. We did look at some cameras that we're going to try, but we really didn't get a chance to do much with that. There's a lot of issues. It's kind of the word I'm looking for is I can't think of it. Labor intensive with these cameras. The other issue you have is because the issue is you have to save all this material, all this recording that you make while with these cameras. You have to save all that material and have it available. It's costly. It would require additional personnel just for maintaining that system. Other issues we have is where we go in town. Despite our best relationship we have with the hospital, they have privacy concerns. So the issue is well, we've talked to the hospital. Well, gee, if you guys come with body cameras, we want you to turn them off. Well, we can't turn them off. It would be our policy that they have. For their responding to a call, we'd have to have them on there. We'd have to deal with your privacy issues after the fact. So that's just one of the
editing.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct.
As far as editing and maintaining the privacy of patients at the hospital and things of that nature.
That is labor intensive.
We run into that problem now without body cameras. We're there for disturbances or problems, whether it be in the ED or other parts of the hospital. We'll ask the public safety people there to provide us with surveillance video to help us with prosecution of cases, and we run into problems with that because they have to see about what patients were seen in the video, were they involved, should they not have been involved, should they be shown,
so it's
things of
this
that
big
nature.
rigmarole
Exactly.
that has to take place.
Exactly, and like I said, it's clear out there that throughout the nation that the trust in police is dwindled, and it's something we have to gain and get back, and we'll continue to do that the best way we can. But again, you're seeing a big push for body cameras throughout the country. And like I said, Massachusetts right now, Boston PD just initiated a program. It didn't get really great support from the rank and file in the department. They're pushing forth with it anyway. Obviously, that'll be something that every department in Massachusetts will look at and see how they handle it and how that helps them.
Do you have that option of denying, rejecting it?
Rejecting the body camera?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the decision to go to body cameras will be made, and once it is made, we'll move forward with it. But we're waiting to have it vetted out to see what all the issues are. Like the captain says, let's see what happens and what policy is the best and what's best practice. And it's clearly something we're going to have to negotiate with the officers because it's a change in their work conditions.
Not only that, one of the reasons why this show goes live is because Kenny doesn't have to edit it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. When he did the Trifletti show, he would bring it home, and it would take 3 to 4 days to edit. Mm-hmm. He would do his show in 2 segments and a lot of behind the scenes. But aside from having, live, which is exciting, it's the editing. Right. And I'm telling you, that means you have to grow your department more with just a clerical staff.
Sure. Yeah, just maintaining it. When we looked at these, the one time the captain mentioned it was a company was Taser. Taser also provides body cameras. And the quote that they gave to us at the time, not buying the equipment, was if they were going to maintain it for us, it was $1,000 a person per year. So it would be $100,000 a year in the budget just to maintain the downloads and all of the different recordings.
That's a neat little business they have, huh?
And now there are new companies, and I actually got an email from one just the other day for redacting. New companies that will redact that, and they can do it much quicker. They have the technology, so they're going to want to come in and say, "We'll handle all the redacting of all of your equipment and all of your videos." So we're going to see a kind of a new business come out of this. I don't think that body cameras is this panacea that everything's going to be okay. I understand it. I get it. It would be nice. I believe that most of the time a high percentage of the time, body cameras are going to be good for the police because I think the majority of the time we're doing the right thing.
Right.
So I don't think it's that.
But it's the finances and the staff that you will need. My goodness. Well, I hope the state comes forward with more taxpayers' money to fund it.
It's quite a commitment, absolutely.
It's a huge commitment.
Well, it's technology, I mean, we've seen it.
And I'm being facetious there. I hope you understand that.
I mean, actually, I was talking with some officers today about how over the many years we've been on the department, how the technology has improved and things that we the way we do things day to day. We were joking in the office today about a typewriter. Asking a younger officer, "Do you know what a typewriter is?" I guess someone came through the building the other day on a tour, a young kid came through on a tour, and they said, "Gee, what is that?" Pointing to a typewriter, not realizing what it was.
Dear God.
So I mean, technology has made a lot of our work easier.
Yeah.
We've been able to do things better, but there's more work that goes with it every time, as far as processing and
It's much more money.
exactly.
Absolutely.
You do change. I mean, the departments, both fire and police, do change with the times. I've
Sure.
seen it happen
Sure.
right before my eyes. But this seems over and above,
Sure.
and for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the changing with the times, one of the things we've been looking at and doing is the social media piece. I don't think it was going to come up, but the social media piece is that we started having a Twitter account maybe
You
only 2 months
don't.
ago. So it's Plymouth_police, and that's our Twitter signal.
Plymouth_police.
And a matter of fact, in only 6 weeks, we have 1,200 and almost 1,300 followers
Is
right
Kenny
now.
one?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
We post a lot.
following
We
us.
post a lot on there.
Yeah.
The things we talked about tonight, it's all posted on there. The drop-in centers.
I don't do Twitter.
tomorrow's.
Kenny does. Kenny,
Oh well, Kenny could teach you. 'cause
No,
you want
I don't
more
wanna
followers.
know. No.
So we're using that because you have to stay up with the times. Everyone else is. You need
Yeah.
to get information out there, and you need to get good information out there. And when people are using social media to put information out on a situation that's going on, I think they're waiting for someone in an official capacity, maybe whether it's the town of Plymouth itself, the town hall, or the police, to say, hey, here's what's really happening, and I think it validates it. So it's important that we do that. And we've been doing it for a couple months now.
That's good.
Yep. Yep.
Kenny's a nerd, and
He's right over there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I think he can hear you. Yeah.
yes, but he's used to me. Do we have a SWAT team?
We have an affiliation with Metro Law Enforcement Council, and that's a group of 46 communities that all share resources. And they share resources, whether they're MOP officers, which are motorcycle officers, search and rescue, SWAT. So we do have a SWAT. We have 4 officers that are on that SWAT team. They train 3 times a month with that unit. They go on call-outs all over the area within those 46 communities, as well as outside those communities. We have a detective assigned to that unit as well. And what happens is those resources will come to Plymouth if we need them. We've used them many times.
And doesn't the sheriff have a SWAT team?
No, the sheriff has a couple offices that are affiliated with Metro Law Enforcement as well.
Because he has this big truck.
He has a command post.
Yeah,
We
a
utilize that command post.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And that command post is assigned to Metro Law Enforcement
Oh, it
Council
is.
to be
So it
utilized as
goes.
well. Exactly.
It goes to different
Absolutely.
areas.
So we do have that affiliation. So we have access to a SWAT team.
Oh, the clock is wrong. We only have 3 minutes, but that's okay. Are you right or are you wrong?
Wrong. That one's correct. So
Oh.
go by that one. Never mind me.
Thank you,
See?
Ken.
See?
Thank you.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Stephen is laughing. Now, our dogs. How are our dog officers doing?
You want to do that? You want me to do
Well, we have right now we have three officers signed for canines.
Yeah.
One is a specifically as a drug narcotics detector dog, who also does search and rescue.
Okay.
Can track missing children, elderly people, and things of that nature.
Excellent.
The other 2 dogs are patrol dogs that are mainly assigned as a patrol function. They also do search and rescue as well. They also train monthly. They're required to train and maintain certain training standards throughout the year. And we have 3 very dedicated officers that are doing that function right now, and they've been very, very successful.
And actually, the dogs, they train the dogs every shift. They have to train the dogs for a certain amount of time. And the new technology on training dogs that I learned was that these dogs do not eat unless they perform.
Oh.
So that you cannot give them any type of food, whatever. And that's why they're so sharp. Like
They're
everything. So when they feed them
yeah.
at home, they're compensated
They
to do
perform.
that. They take care of them at home. And I think you mentioned earlier, the dogs, they go to their houses. We put in a kennel in their yard, a full kennel where the dogs can be kept. They take home their cruisers, which are fully outfitted with everything they need for the canine, the cages, the air conditioning for the cage, so we take care of the animals. We have really good equipment, so all 3 officers have take-home vehicles to their houses, and they take care of those dogs themselves.
And they love them to,
They do.
pieces.
They really do.
Let's see. Talking about the vehicles, how do they like the new vehicles? Were the other ones better than these?
Well, we found the newest style vehicle away from the old Ford LTD is 2 different style vehicles. One is a utility, and the other one is a sedan, a regular cruiser.
Yeah.
So it's more of a tourist. The basics of those cars are they're all-wheel drive, and they're really the same, except for one's just a little bit bigger and it's not a little bit higher. So what we found is, because we asked the guys, what works best for them, a lot of equipment in there, and we want them to be comfortable and be able to kind of perform their duties in a safe way. So because of that, the feedback we get is mixed. It seems like a lot of the guys like the bigger utility, and I think we're ordering a few cars now. I think half of them are going to be utilities, if not a little bit more. So it seems like they like the utilities a little bit better.
It's like having a Jeep, and I think it performs better. It looks better. It looks more comfortable. It's recognizable.
Yeah, we've
right away.
We've gotten that feedback from the officers as well, that they think it's more comfortable as well.
Yeah, I like it. Now, real quick, Ken and I got our gun permits, and it's a thorough process.
It is. It is a thorough process.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're so busy with permits, it takes a while to get an actual application in. But once you get the application in, there are several checks that go out throughout the state.
Yeah.
We manage our own through the department. Captain Bruce McNamee kind of spearheads that entire unit for me.
Right.
And he has help from a couple other superior officers as well. And he's busy doing that and making sure that's done right. Suitability is a big deal to us. You have to be a suitable person. One of the law changes, to be brief, that we've been waiting for as chiefs is the ability to say someone's not suitable for an FID card, because we used to be able to say you're not suitable for a handgun or a concealed weapon, but you can get an FID card and go and get a rifle. It made no sense to the chiefs.
No.
So we've gotten the law changed with Governor Baker's assistance, and we now can say you're not suitable for an FID card. So
Guess
quite
what?
a process.
It's over.
Has it been a half hour already?
Yes, twice.
Twice?
But I thank you gentlemen for coming. I
Always a
know you
pleasure,
after putting in a long day.
Thank you.
And I thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now, not sure I'm here next week, but this is Talk of the Town, saying good night. Kenny saying, see you in 7. That was good, though. That one, I just
Stuff.
sort of